You are listening to Rouge Radio, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
It's time to get the point as Rouge Radio is ready to kick off.
Ready!
The best football talk with the best in the business.
So what is the cost? You have 2 first-round picks this year because the Argos were dumb enough to trade for Drew Willie.
A few rookies.
We go directly to the on-field product. We welcome to the show the 20th overall pick in this past Sunday's CFL draft, DeAndre Wright of the Alouettes. DeAndre, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
And the occasional Hall of Famer.
Please welcome Doug Brown, who is one of the members of the current class of 2016 in the CFL Hall of Fame. Doug, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you guys for the kind words and for having me on the program.
Rouge Radio is on the air. Here's your hosts, Robert Dalton and Tony Allen.
Broadcasting live from Winnipeg, Manitoba and Medicine Hat, Alberta, this is the Rouge Radio Podcast. My name is Irv. This is episode 562, powered by the Canadian Football Podcast Network. I tell you how to get in contact with the host of the Rouge Radio Pod. You can email them at thenewrouge@gmail.com. Are you scared? Are you scared that they won't answer? They won't read them online? You can go through them at socials at Rouge Radio. Daltz at Rouge Daltz and Tony at Tony Rouge. And now it is my esteemed pleasure to introduce to you the hosts of the Rouge Radio Podcast, Robert Dalton and Tony Allen. Gentlemen?
Oh, thank you, Irv. And at that time, Tony comes back. We could welcome.
I have a live studio audience tonight.
Do you?
My oldest takes advantage of us being allowed to stay up at night in the summertime with no school.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets very curious about things that are on screens, like most kids do, that there's something on a screen and he needs to see it immediately. If you have a child, when you pick up your phone, they need to know it's on it. And now he's curious about...
You tell me. You just
Irv.
we just we just had a conversation with our youngest daughter, who's about the same age as yours, and it's like, yeah, we're talking about something in the kitchen, and she comes in and she's like, "Who said what?" And it's like, no, it has nothing to do with you. Stay, this is an A-B conversation. See yourself out of here.
Yeah.
So trust me, I know exactly what you're talking about. Again, as Irv has mentioned, this is the Rouge Radio Podcast. A little bit of house cleaning. We are sponsored by the good people over at Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com, enter the promo code Rouge. That tells the people over at Manscaped that the Rouge Radio Podcast sent you, and in doing that, you get 20% off your order plus free worldwide shipping. Go to Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. We had an impromptu guest host last week. Andrew from the Turf District joined us last week and had a pretty good conversation, and then we realized, Tony, you were in Edmonton.
Yeah,
you could have done a live remote in Andrew's Turf District.
I guess so. I just go over to his place and we're laughing.
That would have been pretty epic, right?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Next time, plan ahead.
Really?
Yeah. Next time, if you
plan accordingly.
Yeah. Next time, if one of us actually goes on like a road trip to Saskatchewan, just make sure to set up shop in Pence.
Yeah.
For, one of our longtime listeners there. How was the trip to Edmonton? Yeah, it's like a last minute trip to Edmonton with the fam.
You know what? With the weather, the heat, the smoke in the air, we didn't leave. We stay at the Fantasyland Hotel. Mm-hmm. Got the Roman room. We love the theme rooms, and we never left the hotel for 3 days.
I mean,
we lived in. It's a little city in there. Everything you need is right there. We spent one day at the water park, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit money, but I recommend if you do the water park, go all in. And if you're from out of town, I should say, if you live in Edmonton, the water park is something you can do for an hour and then leave, or a couple hours. But if you're going to go the whole day like we do out of towners, I recommend getting a cabana. A little expensive, but it's a great way to go in your cabana, relax for a little bit so you're not always out there. And that was great. And also right outside the water park, my wife is Alberta born and raised, and so she's used to going to the West Edmonton Mall since she was a little kid.
Yeah.
And she always saw those old-timey picture booths.
Oh, yes.
And to me, I usually think, what idiots get pictures at these old-timey? And to me, it's like who even think, how did this thing survive? Like, nobody does these things. But my wife's always wanted to do it. So it's like, I've got nothing against them, but I don't see why anyone would do this. But we did it. It was actually really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got an old picture of the whole family. We look like rich, wealthy ranchers in the 1905 wealthy Albert. And I admit, it was fun putting on the costumes. And I'll tell you, that place is busy all day. I couldn't believe it. Like, I look at those little places and like, they must sit there just all day doing nothing because nobody gets these pictures. Like, I felt I was doing them a favor by getting this picture. Like, they were going to have a Christmas party this year because I got a picture done. That's what my attitude towards these places used to be. But I'm talking to her, like, no, we're book solid all day, every day. Like, it's insane how many people. I'm like, holy cow, I was completely wrong about those places. The best thing is,
Tony's like, watch me make their day. I'm just going to come
exactly,
in.
Right? I'm a hero.
Like, yeah. And it's like, and then she's like,
I just feel like,
just get in line.
I just feel like Scrooge going into the Cratchit's house on Christmas morning with all these gifts because I've purchased one of their photos, but I was so ignorant about how popular that place is.
I swear.
And the funny thing too, I saw the picture, and the first thing I thought of, if movies have taught me anything, this is what my great grandfather and his family looked like. If movies have taught me anything,
yeah.
If I was to go back and forth, my great grandfather would look exactly like me. All my kids would look exactly like my kids, because that's how it goes in movies. You travel back in time, you run into your great grandfather in the Old West, and he looks just like you, except usually he has a mustache. I didn't have a mustache, but that was the joke that ran through my head.
We like my wife and my youngest, I think they went to some movie. I can't remember what it was. And as they were waiting, they saw that. I mean, it wasn't like probably as elaborate as what you went through, but it was just like one of those little, the 1 minute photo booths, right? But they had a blast. Like, that was the best thing. Like, of all the things that they had, the arcade and the movie theaters, but my daughter could never just not stop talking about this freaking photo booth, right? I mean, it's amazing. But it's amazing how technology really hasn't changed, but the price to do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like I remember when it was like, hey, it's like, here's a $1 bill just to put it in. Now it's like $5, maybe four movies.
And the best is, now I have a picture of my whole family and my two boys holding 6-shooters and shotguns, which is what the dream is. So, but I recommend it if you ever in any tourist trap location and you see one of those old timey booths, especially West Edmonton Mall, get it. It's just a hilarious time.
We're gonna preview week 9 of the CFL, but some last minute talk because we don't really talk about this team too much. When we did talk about them in our 9 teams in 9 weeks, we had some high praise, and that is for the BC Lions. Obviously, in the last couple of weeks, they have been hit with the injury bug. To say the least, that is a huge issue. Obviously, every team has gone through injuries. This team got hit with the big one. Their starting quarterback in Nathan Rourke. Your biggest fan, or I guess
I've heard of him.
Yeah, you might have heard of him. And I mean, this really tells a tale about how important that QB2, that backup quarterback position is, because they went to Chase Price the last couple of weeks, and it has not looked too good. And now, I mean, we'll talk more about their upcoming game, which is tomorrow. But are we? Is it too early to sour out on the BC Lions? Because like
No.
I said in the preseason, I said I love their front seven. Their offense, I think, could hang with any offense across the CFL, and I still believe that if they're healthy, they can hang with any offense across the league. They could put up points like no other, and I still believe that if they're healthy. But the one thing that I had, and I said this last week with Andrew, is I said that their secondary was a glaring hole. And when you get the injuries and you get the ineffectiveness of their front seven, that secondary becomes exposed. And boy, has it gotten exposed in the last couple of weeks. Like the last month, it has just been horrible. So is it too early to sour out on the BC Lions? Is it too late for them to fight back? Are we hoping for the emergence of the 2011 BC Lions?
Who are they even starting next week? They're the ones that just announced that
Caden Salter,
Guy Incognito, is starting as a quarterback. Like, it doesn't feel good unless we're about to have. I don't even know what a good example was because we kind of knew Nathan Rourke before he walked in. Like, I don't know. Did we know about Bo Levi Mitchell before he just walked in out of nowhere and played? But unless this guy's going to pull the ultimate walks out of nowhere and does amazing, it's hard to think the BC's Lions troubles are anything but just starting, much less over. So I'm probably not going to bet any money on the BC Lions anytime soon, much less this week. But a little foreshadowing there for you. But I mean, who knows? This season has just been fantastic.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've had this conversation a couple of times in the last 5 years as what did we have? Was it 2 or 3 years ago? We talked about if you could have an MVP season as far as what's the best regular season, the Hall of Fame season.
The Hall of Fame
I believe
season,
we talked about that.
2026 is right up there.
That's a diabetes thing. Don't freak out. You're all getting a firsthand experience on diabetes experiences. But no, like, I mean, it's been an amazing season. So if you told me, like, what is it? Did we have the conversation a couple of weeks ago about offense per game across the league? Like, you have to score 35 points to win a football game this season. So it's like, I would not be surprised if this guy comes out of nowhere and has a fantastic season. It just blows our mind. I'm certainly not expecting it. I'm not going to pick BC again this week without giving too much away, but I don't think either of us are too keen on the BC Lions right now. But I mean, it could happen, but I'm more inclined to say we're going to watch the BC Lions slide down the Western standings than they are maintaining status quo.
Yeah, because like right now they're 1-5, right? Like I have to look back at the 1-5, and they're a horrible minus points for
slide down.
Yeah, and now like Calgary just ripped through Winnipeg. Winnipeg, I mean they're playing Winnipeg. And Winnipeg is like so hot and cold, and of course we know about Saskatchewan. And my God, Edmonton. Like granted, BC did hand Edmonton their only win or their only loss this year. So what do I know? But I can't expect that to be something that will happen again, just knowing how Edmonton is playing. But I just like, of all the things, like I said, like during the off season, like BC's secondary, it's just like for every game and for every injury that they take, that secondary gets exposed. And now, I mean, not giving away too much, they have 6 new starters tomorrow against Winnipeg. Like, disregard what your opinion is about Winnipeg in 2026. It's the BC Lions haven't been good, and they're about to get worse just based off who they're dressing, right? They got a backup running back, backup a third string quarterback. Offensive line is not going to be the same. They've got a backup defensive tackle who has experience, but still a backup. I digress. Darnell Sankey's good. Hladek's good. It's okay on the boundary side corner, but outside of that, it's just I'm not expecting much. Like you really need Nathan Rourke back because I can't see any quarterback tossing dimes to guys like McInnes, guys like Senecal, guys like Hatcher, guys like Poussin. And by the way, I said this online. I don't know if you've watched the movie Corky Romano with Chris Kattan.
When it came out, and that's it.
Whenever I hear the name Poisson, I all the time think Chris Kattan's character, Corky Romano, as an undercover agent as Pissant, or it's Poisson. It's French.
Yeah,
it's French. I don't like. They need Nathan Rourke, and I don't even know if that's going to be the deal breaker in the West. Like they're so far behind right now,
mm-hmm.
and I know a lot of people are going back. Well, look at the 2011 BC Lions. The 2011 BC Lions were competitive, and they were healthy to boot, and they decided to go off the walls and get Arlen Bruce, and that really turned things around in BC.
Mm-hmm.
They were competitive. They just were finding that it was just that one or two plays, and then they turned it around, and it was like 3 plays in the beginning that just got them, and they ran roughshod over the West, and then eventually to the Grey Cup. I don't see this team. This team is not that team. I feel bad, and I know injuries are part of it. I just you can't foresee injuries. So when I do say that, I had BC at number 1. Or at least number 2 in the West during our preview off season. But I just like now that we're seeing the depth behind their starters, yeah, it's a huge mess. Anything you want to add before we go forward?
No, I think that's all we have on BC right now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of BC, the BC Lions are in Winnipeg. Before we get to this week's preview and predictions, our podcast is partnered with the good people over at Sports Interaction. Go to SIA.com/Rouge, and your first deposit is matched up to 100%. And again, as always, Tony and myself advise you to please play and gamble responsibly. I don't know if that was worthy of a cheer, but I digress. I appreciate it.
Hey, if it made sense to you, it made sense to me.
Yeah. The BC Lions are in Winnipeg to play the Bombers. Some key and notable drops from Winnipeg. Jarrell Broxton, their right tackle, is going to be replaced by Mika Vanderpool. And, of course, Reda Kremdi is second straight week on the injured reserve. But it doesn't seem to be too serious as far as they're not on the 6th game. BC is on a different level here. They've got, like we mentioned before, Caden Salter is making his first professional start, and James Butler's not playing. I was kind of hoping for Xander Horvath to make his start, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The receivers seem to be getting healthier, but again, when you're a third-string quarterback, who knows how that's going to relate. The Bombers are favored by 7.5, and the over-under is set at 54.5. The way Bombers offensively have been going about it, I don't imagine the over is going to be hit, but I do want to take Winnipeg in this one, just because they become the most healthiest, and granted, they might be the most inconsistent of the two. Sometimes you just have to bet on the up version of this team compared to the team that is going on a downward spiral. So with that being said, I do have Winnipeg winning this one, but online, I did say this game could be 2 ways. Winnipeg has shut out the BC Lions twice in the last 5 years. The most recent one was 2 years ago. The last one before that was back in 2021. This could end up as a shutout in this one, and we could be looking at like 31-0 kind of game. Or this could be a game where Caden Salter goes off and throws 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but has a low completion percentage and a low yardage, throwing about 160, very Rocky Butler-esque. And if you're a fan of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, you get that reference. But I do think that Winnipeg does come out of shell shock, maybe because they don't have enough film on Mr. Salter, but at least for the second, third, or fourth quarter, might be playing shutdown defense. Winnipeg should win this one 35-10 over the BC Lions. Tony, where do you get this one?
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to go too far into the BC Lions. I think, what we discussed, and I mean, they're the bottom of the league, and I don't think they're bottom of the West. They're not going to stay there, and I think going too much in them, I think it's mostly going to be about what Winnipeg Blue Bombers team is going to show up. Mm-hmm. And If this is going to be about more if Winnipeg is going to let BC beat them, because inconsistency is a great word to use with Winnipeg. And I feel like my hang up this season, or at least is going to be a continued benchmark for these teams in the league, is just scoring. It's off the charts this year. And the most inconsistent right now for that is Winnipeg. They can easily put up 18 points as they can 30 points. They've hit 30 3 times, I think, this season, twice in the 20s, and I think they have a teens game in there as well.
And they won that one game.
Yeah, exactly. So it isn't. So I think this is BC, or this is Winnipeg's game to win.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's going to determine it is if Winnipeg decides that they're going to let BC win, because BC's not going to win because they're the better team. They're going to win because Winnipeg does something horrible, and I don't think they will. I'm going to give them a 32-7 win over the Lions.
Yeah, and as the score, my prediction came out, I was like, oh, that is too much. That is too much. Like, maybe I could see, like, yeah, something like to your effect, like maybe a 25-7 win, where you're just going to be like, it's really going to be too cute, kind of off, or too conservative type play calling. Keep BC's defense off, and then force BC's offense to turn the ball over when they're trying to throw the ball 20 or 30 yards down the field. Either way, I'm taking the under in this one, but I do have Winnipeg covering that 7.5 spread. Speaking of big spreads, Montreal is in Ottawa. Ottawa is the underdog by 6.5. Over-under is at 61.5. This is the effect of being the home team, because Montreal was favored by 10.5 last week over Hamilton, and now they're only favored by 6.5 over Ottawa. Ottawa, the team that hasn't won a game. Like, it's like, I don't get it. I don't know. I can't see this team. I can't see Ottawa putting any kind of a dent into any kind of lead here. I think this is going to be a typical, like we saw a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago. Montreal just had BC just like a cat with a mouse, right? Just playing around with it, and they just gave up and then allowed Ottawa to even have a remote chance of getting back into that game. I don't see that being a thing this go around. I think Montreal is clearly the better team, and I think Montreal learned from that time. Plus, in previous times where they just let teams come back, I don't know if it's a matter of just not having the proper halftime adjustments or in-game adjustments, or the other teams making those better adjustments, or they're just kind of leaving the foot off the gas. But I don't see that. I don't have this game ending in a similar fashion that it did against that back-to-back against Calgary, or even the first game against Ottawa. I have Montreal covering the spread alone by itself. Well, maybe not putting up a 60 burger, but I have Montreal winning this one 49-20 over the Ottawa Red Blacks. Tony.
Yeah, it's just listening to you talk, seeing that I'm the winless Ottawa Red Blacks. I'm just kind of skimming through the schedule because I want to know when the Lions and the Red Blacks play. They do have a game August 28th, from what I can see. And I don't know if they've played a game already that I'm not thinking about.
Well, no, they must not have, because BC's only won one game against Edmonton, and Ottawa hasn't won any. So
I just quickly skimming through. I didn't see unless I missed it, I couldn't see a second game between them, but there's no way they only play once this season. But I should probably keep moving here. But okay, let's say that August 28th, let's say, because I can't, I've got August 30th. Okay, August 30th game. Doesn't matter. Maybe you can find it while I'm talking, but because I should talk. But unless Ottawa can sneak in and beat that, like BC Lions, I think are what's going to determine if Ottawa goes winless this year, because BC has their win, and BC can quite easily goose-egged. But even then, I would think BC is more likely to sneak in a win than Ottawa is. So that August 28th, circle that on your calendar or wherever the game, if there's one after that, because that might be the last time Ottawa has a legitimate chance to win a football game in 2026. That's ridiculous. And not that I'm anti-red black. Like that's where I grew up, was the Ottawa Valley. I grew up an Ottawa Rough Riders fan. So absolutely by no way am I anti-Ottawa football. But what a morbid fascination to see an 0-18 team for the first time in my life that I'm aware of.
I'm glad
the
you brought
closest I
that
remember
up.
was that Saskatchewan team from 03.
No, it was
03?
Hamilton in 03.
Right, the
They went
Hamilton.
1-17, and that one was the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Apologize to Riders fans. That wasn't an attempt to disrespect. I just got my teams flip-flopped because that was the team Hamilton beat. But again, it's a morbid fascination.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Ottawa. You're only the team fitting the role. It's the 0-18 that I think everyone's going to get fascinated by.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people are going to cheer against you because you're the Ottawa Red Blacks. There is just going to be that morbid fascination to see a winless football team. Now, I hope that doesn't kill football in Ottawa for a fourth time, but I mean, it's something else.
Listen, this is their, since their Grey Cup win in 2016, they were out in the first round against Saskatchewan the year after that. I think they were even sub 500 in 18, but they managed to get to the Grey Cup and lose to Calgary. They were terrible in 19. They were terrible in 21. They were terrible in 22. They were terrible in 23. They made it to the playoffs. They just had piss poor coaching and defense in that game. And then they were terrible last year. Honestly, if you're an Ottawa Red Blacks fan, you just got to hope. You got to hope for something. Something to make Ottawa just stand out, because if you go 1-17, there's no chance of a playoffs. I think that waved bye a long time ago, and this is something worth honestly. If you went to the last home game, and they were Owen, then that would be. I gotta admit, I'm losing Owens. I'm losing count of Owens. I've already had the Owen Wilson, Owen Hart.
Is there 18 Owens out there that we can roll with? I mean, my son had a kid over named Owen. We're gonna have to get down into there. We're gonna be using my kid's friend.
We're gonna have to use Owen character Owens,
Owen Casey from the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. I'm not even sure enough people know, but hey, at least he's Canadian. But
Spike Owen, famous Montreal Expos from the late '80s, early '90s.
There you go. I remember that name. But anyways, to make a long story longer, I haven't given an actual prediction yet. 32-13 Alouettes, because this year teams are just finding points somewhere. Whether this might just be fourth quarter garbage points as Montreal takes their foot off the gas and plays double prevent defense, dropping 40 yards back. But
they just go to the sidelines.
Double secret, just all 12 of them line up on the goal line.
McLeod Bethel Thompson goes back to pass, and it's picked off. We only threw 10 yards.
Imagine Dustin goes, and Ottawa drops back 12 guys. Montreal's dropping back 12 on coverage. Anyways.
McLeod Bethel Thompson sacked. How?
Yeah.
Nobody's rushing. Jake Mayer still gets picked off.
Yeah. Montreal's not even tackling guys at this point. They're just pushing them back and then letting the clock tick. And don't tackle them. Just keep pushing them.
Or it's the classic, older brother. Just put your hand up on the little brother. He's just running. He's just not doing anything. All right, we're just gonna waste the clock here doing this way.
Yeah.
All right. Next game is the Calgary Stampeders are in Hamilton. Calgary is favored by 4.5. Over under is at 60.5. Calgary's looked good. Obviously, we can tell about their offense. Defensively, still is really hit or miss and whatnot. But offensively, they're on a different level at this point. Where do you see this one going?
2 games over 50.
Yeah. Like every
Some
team,
teams haven't scored 50 points in one game in like the last 5-6 years.
I think there's I swear there seems to be like a team that Ottawa just finds hard to score 50 in a month. But but yeah, every team has that one big game where they blow out a team, whether it's a good team, whether it's a bad team or a mediocre team. Calgary is just doing it like it's a bodily function, right? Like they're 52 against Winnipeg, 58 against Toronto. Not those defenses, not exactly the best, but seriously, 50 plus points is a huge thing, and you do it twice in a month. In a month. But on that note, Trey Ford looked okay against Montreal until he wasn't. Obviously, we know what he did against Toronto. In this case, against Calgary, it is a different animal. Where do you got this one going?
I have no idea. What do you do with the Calgary Stampeders? We just went on about how lethal they are on offense. They've averaged 39 points a game. 39 points a game. They don't score less than 30 points a game. And they're 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
They're a fourth place in the West, which is 3 wins. And it's impossible for them to not score 30 points a game. Like, it's stupid. What do you do with this team? Like, we just praise them, which they deserve. But then you say, but they're 3-4. They kind of suck. Like, how are you awesome, but you suck? Like,
isn't that 2026 in a nutshell, though?
It's like half of me just wants to come in here and be the biggest South Harmon Institute of Technology talker in the world. And then someone just says, yeah, but you're 3-4. Like, if BC didn't suck, you could be last.
Yeah.
But you're a juggernaut. Like, so how do you go on saying, watch out for the Stampeders because they'll score 32 points and lose? Like, what do you do with that? It's great to be an offensive juggernaut, but who cares if you're not outscoring the competition? Like, the fact that you regularly put up 30 points, 39 points on average per game. Average.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. And you're 3-4. That sucks. You suck. But you don't. You're the scariest team in the league. That sucks. For all of that best 0-3 teams, it's an enigma. They're a walking contradiction.
Are they the best 3-4 team? You can make that argument. Like, we can say that.
But again, what is the point of being like that? Is stupid. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, imagine sitting there watching a football games. Like, so how many of the Stampeders put on the board today? 31. We lost though. Like, you can't even get excited for 30 points if you're a Stampeders fan. Like, yes, it's across the league. Like, you can go across the league, and 28 is like, I haven't done the math on this one specifically, but just throwing around numbers we talked about 3 weeks ago about average, what it takes, like the average score of like the average winning team scores 28 points in the Canadian Football League. Like, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so Party was like, well, Calgary Stampeders goes in there. They're but who cares if Hamilton will score too as well? Like, it doesn't matter how good your offense is on the other team. Calgary's clearly going to give up points. Like, they didn't win 58-3 over Toronto. They won like 58-38. They still almost hung 40 points on the winning team. Like, it's impressive if you don't look at the bigger picture. If your view of the Stampeders is this big and you just see 40 points a game, yeah, oh God, how can I not take the Stampeders? But zoom out. Like, if the Calgary Stampeders learn what defense is, then yes, this team is going to sleepwalk into the Grey Cup. They're going to be nuts. They're just going to be insane. But if they don't, this doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just lipstick on a pig. Like, at this rate, you're going to be a sub 500 team that scores 40 points a night. Like, it's, and honestly, I'm not afraid of Trey Ford, but if Calgary's defense is a sieve, I think Trey Ford could put 30 points on the Stampeders easily. It's not hard.
And Hamilton's defense is, honestly, very underrated. Like, like borderline elite. Like,
and suddenly Vernon Adams doesn't throw interceptions anymore. He just woke up and like, you know what? I'm done throwing interceptions. They suck. It's ridiculous. And that one crap, why can't I remember the guy? Shoot, I should have looked this up first because I'm wasting more time, but I don't think I got a lot of Facebook statuses, so it shouldn't be buried that deep. But that one touchdown in that game, where is it? Blah, blah, blah. Keep talking because I got to figure this out. Oh, yeah. Philpott.
Oh, Jalen.
That very nice Philpott where he just pinballed his way down. Not to steal Pinball's nickname, but shoddy tackling / juking led to an amazing touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, it was a highlight reel touchdown, but let's call a spade about that one. That was just kind of like, and that just, I mean, we still haven't predicted this game, but that's just like, how many times in this year have we seen people go for the hit and not wrap like I just like, oh man,
you ever seen the movie Necessary Roughness?
Well, you want people to just
do
like
learn
jiu-jitsu?
How to play football from the movie Necessary Roughness. You know the movie I'm talking, right? Scott Bakula.
Yeah. Sinbad.
Southern Texas or something. I forget what the school was. Texas Tech. Yeah. Either way, Southern Texas Tech. Either way, the Armadillos, the Fighting Armadillos. Mm-hmm. Go Fighting Armadillos. Scott Bakula, 40-year-old rookie or something like that. But for some reason, like, you shouldn't learn to play football, and I shouldn't. If I was a junior football coach, I wouldn't go in saying, "I watched this documentary on football and the South Texas Armadillos." But there is a line. It's like when they have one kid that can't tackle in that movie, and Scott Bakula's like, "You're going for my shoulders. You're going for my shoulders. You got to hit me right here." And for some reason, and so when I watch it, it stuck with me. So when I watch games and you see the shoddy tackling, all I can think of is Scott Bakula saying, "You're trying to hit me up here. Don't try and hit me out. Try and hit me right here." And you're right. There is a lot of that going on right now. But either way, I don't know what – I mean, I have no reason to think the Calgary Stampeders aren't going to come in here chucking BBs down the field and racking up points. Hamilton, can they stop it? Because Calgary doesn't seem to care if you can stop it or not. Calgary doesn't care if you have defense. They just – because, well, we don't have defense, so you probably don't have defense either. If Calgary ever figures it out, the league is toast. The Calgary Stampeders they're just going to be an absolute wagon. But that does not seem to be coming anytime soon, and I don't think Dave Dickinson is going to cure that in 6 days. So I am still going to take the Stampeders here 34-24, as I don't think they're going to win by a massive margin. But I think it's good enough to put the Stampeders back at 500, and then we'll see where we go there, because, again, I have no confidence in picking this team every week because we can score 35, like I said, and Calgary can easily give up 37. They can.
And then this definitely taking the under in this one, just because I think Hamilton's defense is tops in the league. And when you have like the immovable, the irresistible force versus the immovable object, which is essentially what this is going to come down to. Can Hamilton's defense contain VA and that Calgary offense? Can they stop them? No. Can they contain them? Can they limit them? I think there's a good, decent chance of that happening. I think VA throws his first interception in this game. I think that secondary in Hamilton just has a nose for the ball. I think this is very good. This is going to be very shoddy offense. You're going to see a lot of rushing touchdowns, and you're going to see a lot of penalties, and you're going to be seeing a lot of pass interferences, which leads to a lot of quarterback sneaks. But at the very least, it is going to be a defensive affair, because I don't trust Trey Ford against even the best or the worst defense. I think Trey Ford is one of those quarterbacks that could put together 2 quarters of good football and then go back to, I don't know, Little Giants level, if we're going back to, movie references. But I do have Calgary winning this one, but it is going to be by a small margin. Calgary wins this one 22-17 over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Last game of the week is the Saskatchewan Roughriders are in Edmonton. Edmonton is favored by 1.5, and the over-under is set at 59.5. I'm going to tell you right now, hit that over. That over is going to be hit like no other. I don't think COdy's going to put together those stats that he did against Saskatchewan last week, but I do like Justin Rankin coming back down to earth as far as, getting back into the groove, finding different ways to get him the ball. Saskatchewan's defense is hurting. Saskatchewan's offense is also going to be hurting. Looks like AJ Ouellette is week to week, but still hasn't been ruled out as far as what I can see. At that point, it might be really a hard uphill battle to fight if you're in Saskatchewan Roughriders. Edmonton is getting healthy, and guess what? They are on the verge of selling 30,000 people at Commonwealth. Like, it's been a while since we could say 30,000 people at Commonwealth.
Winning solves everything.
Yeah. F you to people who said that you just have to change the name. Big F you to that.
And a big F you to, who was it? The president who decided he wanted to attempt to derail the great start to the season after 3-0, decides he's just going to throw out the name problem again.
Mm-hmm.
We never talked about it on the show, but I wanted to come unglued onto that moron starting 3-0, and then you decided you wanted to trigger every right-wing nut job to try and almost to derail your Grey Cup aspirations. Like, I couldn't believe that. But
yeah,
having said that, it's something else in Edmonton right now. I don't know if you were throwing this for me to make my prediction. I guess I kind of hijacked it regardless, but
kind of.
This goes back to the Calgary Stampeder thing too, that just because I wanted to see what first and from kind of last place between the Stampeders in fourth and Edmonton in first, but Edmonton, the number one team, 28 points per game. So Calgary with almost 10 points more per game than the first place team in the West. That's
and it's 3 less wins.
5-1.
Yeah, where are they? 6-1. Yeah.
Yeah, they are first place in the West after that win.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, you're looking at an Eskimos team that's 6-1 right now, and they score 10 points less per game than the Calgary Stampeders. Another reason why it's like, I can understand why you tell me to get excited for the Stampeders, but when you score 10 more points than a 6-1 football club and you're 3-4,
mm-hmm.
It just goes to anyone who says defense doesn't win championships. I think you can put a big asterisk right beside the Calgary Stampeders points per game, because without a defense, you can't do squat.
Yeah.
I think what we're learning. So
278 points for Calgary and a whopping 203 for Edmonton. I know you just said the average, but to put that number into perspective,
maybe some more tangible.
Yeah.
Like, so, and definitely it's going to be the most anticipated game of the week, I think.
Oh God, yeah. What a game that
especially after the show, not because it's in Edmonton, it could be possibly 30,000 plus. It's just after the show these two teams put on last week,
mm-hmm.
that just adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
And I suppose if anything's going to drive the Riders faithful from up north of me back to Commonwealth Stadium as well, this is probably going to do it, because right now on paper, the Elks look like they're threatening your repeat aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
Like, start enjoying your time with the Grey Cup right now, because it looks like the Elks have their sights solely set on winning that trophy this year, and probably will be the betting favorites. If not after this week with a win, very soon they will be the betting favorites to win the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
which I think sets the stage for a massive letdown. We're expecting fireworks. We're planning. Let's parade the Grey Cup around. Is the track even still in Commonwealth Stadium? Before I say paraded around the track,
It is
but
now.
regardless, even if I said around the track, you're just thinking I'm being nostalgic, and the older CFL fans will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I think this, unfortunately and sadly, for as much as I think Edmonton needs this big turnout and a victory, I'm still going to give it 32-18, as I think the weight is going to get very heavy on this Edmonton team now to keep going. And again, this is not a Battle of Alberta thing, because if it was, I definitely would not favor the Saskatchewan Roughriders over you just to rain on your parade. I think this might just actually be a legitimate stumble on, and then Edmonton keeps going. I don't think their season gets derailed here. It's just, I think naturally at 6-1, Edmonton's in for a bit of a stumble. It's just natural.
Yeah, and it's funny because I know that I led to the opposite, or I think I kind of led on to that, where I expect Justin Rankin, COdy Fajardo's numbers to drop down compared to what he put up last week. But I expect Justin Rankin to be a little bit more of a focal point and to have a little bit more success. But at that point, yeah, I do see Saskatchewan putting up a little bit better fight. I do see Saskatchewan being a little bit more less conservative, to say, um, putting the ball into the end zone when they have that opportunity. Possibly have a couple less penalties on certain drives when would absolutely kill them last week. But I hear you on that one, because sometimes when you have that unexpected growth in fans, like Edmonton has experienced, and you it's such a different level, and it causes certain mistakes that you normally wouldn't have in the previous 7 weeks. So I do have Saskatchewan winning this one too as well. Not as a high score, but definitely taking the under in this one. Saskatchewan 29-25 over the Edmonton Elks.
I do have a follow-up point I wanted to bring up too, because weather is always the greatest equalizer when it comes to a game like football. And Edmonton has been experiencing record rain. And I don't mean like as in figuratively, they've literally broken like a 17-year record for rain, and they're calling for showers right now on Saturday. So we'll see what happens with this game. And again, rain is a great neutralizer. It might be all bets off after that point, and it just be an absolute mess up there. I'm not changing my answer. I'm just saying, if the rains do show up, and if you've seen any of the videos from last weekend at the Post Malone concert at Commonwealth Stadium, you could see how treacherous the rains have been in Edmonton this summer.
I thought you were going to go with, I expect rain, and I might change my bet. I have Edmonton winning this one, 14-11. No. All right, so I think we're on the same page this week. Are we not?
Mm-hmm.
We both. By the way, I looked forward. August 30th, the Red Blacks host the BC Lions, and on October 9th, the Lions host the Ottawa Red Blacks.
All right, so if the Red Blacks don't pick up that August 30th win, all eyes will be on. Those are the only two times I think Ottawa can hit the win column.
Yeah. I actually thought Ottawa had a couple of attempts against Hamilton once they lost Bo Levi, and we saw what Jake Delegala did against Saskatchewan and what Trey Ford did in the last quarter and a half against Winnipeg. I was like, oh man, they're not going to win a game. And then they won against Toronto, and they performed admirably against Montreal. Now I think Ottawa's could go 0-18. Remember a couple of years ago, I think it was like when they were 8-0, and we started having a conversation. Wouldn't you want to try to get that 18-0 season? If you're 0 and 16, do you like start dressing backups to try to get that legacy of being the only 0 and 18 season? Like,
You know what? And
at what point do you be like, okay, we're like, their season's toast. Let's go for the record.
We live in an age where we live with the current generation loves its irony because they don't know how to use the word irony properly, so they love to do things ironically. And we just in a point in time where they would ironically, because they don't know how to use the word properly, go to cheer for an 0 and 18 season. Like, I think you could pack the place if you promoted an 0 and 18 season and joining the record books. Join the record books. Be there for a record-breaking night. Like that has Gleiberman promotion written all over it.
Yeah.
Come celebrate a record-breaking 0 and 18 season.
Yeah, and
Gleiberman night. Let's have Gleiberman night.
And awesome as much as that is, I'm going to have a tough time looking up Owens for that one.
Yeah, we need all your Owens.
I mean, we got Jesse Owens, Spike Owen, Clive Owen. I mean, there's famous Owens. I'm just looking for like the sports variety.
Yeah.
To do that. Anyway, well, that'll wrap it up for this week's episode. You can, as Irv had dissected, and then the opening credits of the show, you can follow us on socials at Rouge Radio, myself at Rouge Adults, Tony at Tony Rouge, and of course, you can email us at thenewrouge@gmail.com. You can follow us and or subscribe to us on YouTube. I don't know the exact link. But of course, you can follow us on TikTok at Rouge Radio Pod and subscribe, rate us, review on any podcast application that you use or wherever you can find us. I find it that Apple Podcast as well as TuneIn seems to be good. You know, that everybody seems to have that availability. Tony, any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Oh, I did have a point written down here on my notes that I forgot to bring up during the Edmonton bit, but it's gonna open up a can of worms, and depending on how the game goes, maybe we can revisit this thought. But I mean, just like and you know what? Let's throw this out there and talk about it next week, and we'll either say no, never mind, or it's like, okay, you brought it up, now we're gonna have a conversation. Has COdy Fajardo put together a potentially amazing CFL career? Like, just literally amazing, not even good enough, but just like an amazing CFL football career. Like, this is the guy that actually might have turned around 3 football teams. Oh. Maybe not Grey Cups, but he took them. He drinks and he wins. I don't know.
You know, it's funny how you mentioned that because, I was having that conversation, like how, like, are we still having that PTSD from his time in Saskatchewan? Like like honestly, we were talking about this in our group chat. You know, he was a backup quarterback in 2017 with Toronto. Obviously, has a great cup there. He was a backup in BC in 2018. Didn't see that much action there. In 2019, he's a backup in Saskatchewan, and lightning strikes in the bottle, and he becomes starter. And since that first game in 2019, he never looked back. He was always the starter. And then when things went sour in Saskatchewan, he went to Montreal. And that team, which went, like, honestly, since Anthony Calvillo, his days, COdy took that team in and turned them into, got them on the island of relevancy. And now Montreal is just like, they're low. It's like Anthony Calvillo, like 2.0 with Davis Alexander. And we can't even blame Davis Alexander for that. That was COdy Fajardo that got him to that point. And, now he's in Edmonton. And then it's funny how 3 years in Saskatchewan, and all of a sudden, like, there's still going to be some people that have that opinion of like, oh no, he's completely overrated.
Well, it makes me think, because I used to make fun of those people that you're like, oh, it's no offensive line. He doesn't have an offensive line. I'm like, oh God, maybe he just didn't have an offensive line. Like, how many people do I owe an apology to? Like maybe he just didn't have an offensive line, and that was actually the problem. Like, how many people do I need to personally say sorry to after laughing at them for saying it was just because they had no offensive line for him? Like, God, he's just like, he's got the hapless Edmonton Elks soaring. I don't know, but like I said, we'll wait for this game. I think this is going to be probably the biggest test for them all year.
Mm-hmm.
And if he does it again over Saskatchewan, the defending, you got to beat the best, and he can do that back-to-back weeks. If he does, God, do we need to start talking? Like, God, do I need to post a social media apology to every Rough Rider fan that I laughed at for saying he only sucked because he didn't have an offensive line? Like, I don't know. We'll see what kind of conversation. We'll pick this up next week, throw it in the itinerary already, or at least wait till the game's over. It's like, hey, that's going in the itinerary, or yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, it's
write it in pencil on the itinerary.
It's a great conversation to have about his career, because I think TSN had the graphic about his overall career numbers, and they were like, wait a minute, those are COdy's numbers, but he sucked for 3 years. Like, it was just it's amazing, but yeah, I mean, that I'm looking for it. It's like, I kind of hope that Edmonton wins that one, so we can have that conversation next week.
Mm-hmm. And who knows? Maybe in November we will be having that conversation after he lifts up another Grey Cup.
Assuming that he can get past his nemesis, the goalpost.
Yes.
Freaking guy hits him again.
See, I told you this would delay the ending of our show if I brought it up.
The guy's hit the goalpost 3 times in his career. All 3 of them have happened at Mosaic Stadium. I find that funny. Anyway, all right. On that note, that'll wrap it up this week's podcast. For Tony, I'm Daltz. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.